In this video, I'll show you how to actually write a high quality book with ChatGPT that's actually going to get you sales. So my name is Sean and I've built a 7-figure publishing business for myself, as well as I helped more than 1,200 people make money from their Amazon KDP business. So with that being said, let me show you how to actually write a book with ChatGPT. So when it comes to writing a book with ChatGPT, there's a lot of misinformation online. You have to understand that most AI written books are complete crap, especially if you follow other YouTube videos talking about this topic. So if you're going to sell the book on Amazon KDP or anywhere else, you must focus on quality. And this is the number one biggest mistake people make is they think just because it's so easy to write a book with AI, they just go and play the volume game. They just spam as many books as possible and they hope that one of those books will hit and make them some money. But unfortunately, that is not how you do it, right? You want to focus on quality over quantity. So when most people hear about AI and how it can write books for you, they think of how to pump out as many books as possible. And honestly, this is a very, very quick way to lose your KDP account or just not make money at all. So AI is very, very useful in reducing production costs and improving the speed of writing the book, but you still have to make sure that the book is good. So the big question is, how can you create a high quality book with ChatGPT? So let me show you exactly how to do that. The first thing you have to understand is the context window. So this is the biggest issue with writing a book with AI. Context window is essentially how much AI remembers what I wrote in the past, right? So this is right now the biggest issue when it comes to writing a book with AI, because when it comes to shorter outputs, it's very easy. It's very easy to use AI to create book outlines, description, title, where the output, what it actually writes, is very short. Book outline is just one page, right? Description is just a paragraph. Title is just one sentence. Those are very, very easy to do with AI. But longer outputs, when it comes to writing the entire book, right? We're talking 100 page, 200 page, content here. It becomes tricky because it becomes very, very repetitive and surface level information. And the reason why is because AI doesn't remember what I wrote. And that is why context window is very important. And this is also why it's very hard to write fiction with AI, because when it comes to fiction, you often refer back to like the beginning of the story at the end of the book, right? So at the end of the book, you refer back to what happened in the beginning. And because AI doesn't remember what I wrote at the beginning of the story, you just cannot do that with AI, at least without editing the content. And that's why editing the content is very, very important, right? You cannot just copy paste it because it becomes extremely hard to write, books like fiction books. Now, when it comes to nonfiction books, though, it becomes a little bit easier because you can break down the output chapter by chapter. Nonfiction is not like fiction where you have to make a lot of connections and referring back to different parts of the book, right? It's usually, this chapter talks about this tip, the next chapter talks about the next information, and it's often segmented by chapter. So this is a little easier to generate with AI because the context window doesn't have to be huge, right? AI just has to remember what to write within that one chapter because the next chapter, it's going to be different. You don't have to refer back to the last chapter. So the key to writing nonfiction with AI is you want to break down the chapter in as much subsection as possible so that you can write in as little section as possible. Then after that, you want to heavily edit the output. But just as a disclaimer that this still doesn't mean that you can just copy paste content from ChatGPT. You still have to heavily edit the output to humanize the content later on. So let me actually walk you through this step by step. So let's just say that I want to write a nonfiction book on how to declutter your home. I use decluttering often because, as you can see, it is a very profitable topic. There are books on this topic that's making really good money. This book from the audiobook alone is doing $200 a day. That is $6,000 a month. So we're going to try and write a book on this topic. The first thing you want to do is go to ChatGPT. I created a new conversation and I asked, can you give me 10 title ideas for a book on decluttering? Make it catchy, but also clear that it is a decluttering book. It's very important to make your nonfiction book title clear on what the book is about. It's better to be clear rather than fancy, okay? Keep that in mind. So these are the ideas that we got. So we got clear the clutter, transform your space and mind, declutter your life, simple steps to a stress-free home, The Joy of Less, A Guide to Minimalist Living, and we got 10 examples here. So these titles are good, but I want my subtitle to be a little longer. I want it to explain the book a little more, talk about the benefits of buying the book. So my next prompt is this one. Please give me 10 subtitle ideas. Subtitle should clearly describe the benefit the reader will get by reading the book. Please also incorporate power words and numbers to make subtitle as attractive as possible. Focus on longer subtitle rather than a short one. Okay, so with that being said, I got these 10 additional subtitles. So we got 7 steps to achieve a calm, organized home and a peaceful mindset, 10 proven techniques to create a serene environment and boost your productivity, discover the freedom of minimalism, and how to embrace a life of abundance with less. So these are much better than the first example we got. It's much longer. It has the numbers. I really like these ones. 15 powerful strategies to eliminate clutter, enhance focus, and increase happiness. Just by adding these numbers, it makes it sound a lot better. Like this one right here, a comprehensive 30-day plan to transform your home and life from overwhelmed to organized. So that's the subtitle that I like. So I decided my title on From Chaos to Calm. The subtitle, a comprehensive 30-day decluttering plan to transform your home and life from overwhelmed to organized. Okay, so that's my title. Now that I have the title, what I'm gonna do is create a detailed book outline. So this is the next prompt. I asked it to please create a detailed 8-chapter book outline for a book on decluttering. The title is this, the subtitle is this, and break each chapter into 3 sections, break each sections into 3 subsections. And this is what I got. Now, 8 chapters is just an example. You can do shorter, longer, but 8 chapters is a pretty good place to be at for a nonfiction book. So just like that, we got a very detailed book outline starting from chapter 1, understanding the need for decluttering. And we broke this down into multiple sections. We got section 1, section 2, the benefits of decluttering, section 3, preparing for the journey. And then even within the section, we have multiple bullet points, right? So this makes it very, very easy to write with AI because now we are literally breaking it down in such small segments that when it comes to generating the content, it fits within the context window that ChatGPT has so that we can avoid the problem of being repetitive and having surface level information. So basically, as you can see, I got chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, all the way up to chapter 8. A detailed book outline literally within seconds. So if you're wondering how long a nonfiction book should be, so this is what I recommend. Obviously, it doesn't have to be exactly this, but this is a good benchmark to aim. So what I recommend is you have 30,000 words. Now, 30,000 words is about 120 to 150 pages, depending on the formatting and how much images you have, but that's like the average. So if you divide 30,000 words by 8 chapters, that is 3,750 words per chapter. Now, if you divide 3,750 words by 3 sections per chapter, that is 1,250 words per section. So now that we have this information, we're gonna go and start filling out this book outline one section at a time, okay? So the first thing I did is the book outline didn't cover the introduction section. It started with chapter 1. So I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT to write me 1,000 words introduction chapter, which we got right here. So this is the introduction chapter. Now I'm not gonna do this in this video, but for you, if you're following along, you wanna take this and put it into your Google Docs so you can edit it later. But just like that, we got a pretty good introduction first draft, right? So welcome to this book. If you're holding this book, chances are you're feeling overwhelmed by the clutter that has taken over your life, the hidden cost of clutter, the benefits of a decluttered life, 30-day decluttering journey, starting with day 1, day 2 to 17, day 8 to 14, tackling the kitchen, and so on. So now that we got the introduction, we want to start filling in the chapter 1 of the book. So we identified that each section should have 1,250 words. Obviously, this can change, but to make it as simple and streamlined as possible, we're going to do 1,250 words per section, right? So the prompt that I asked is, please write 1,250 words for chapter 1, understanding the need for decluttering, section 1, the impact of clutter. Cover these points: physical effects, how clutter affects your living space, mental effects, and emotional effects. If you're wondering where I got this from, I literally got it from the book outline, right? So if you scroll back up here, you can see that I just basically copied chapter 1, section 1. And once I'm done writing this section, I'm going to do the same thing with section 2, section 3, and so on. So this is the content that we got. So chapter 1, understanding the need for decluttering. Section 1, the impact of clutter. Clutter can have profound effects on various aspects of our lives. The physical effects: reduce living space, increase safety hazards, difficulty in cleaning and maintenance, and whatnot. Obviously, make sure to read each one. Make sure that the content is actually good. Okay, make sure it's not surface level. But this is just a first draft. You still have to edit it after, but we're just going ahead and filling in the first draft. So once section 1 is done, I just asked it to do the same thing for section 2. I got section 2 back. And one thing you notice here is that section 2 and section 1 both are kind of written in a listicle style. So the listicle is like, 2.1, 2.2, very small paragraphs, and then it's the next thing and the next thing. It's like a bullet point list, right? And this is not my favorite way of writing nonfiction. And for that reason, for the next prompt in section 3, I asked the same thing, but I also added a note here that says, don't write in a list style. Focus on practical advice and use stories to make the information more personal. And that basically fixed the output of having a list style, content. So now it's not in a list. We have section 3, preparing for the journey. And then for the setting goals tip, you can see that it is much longer. It's not like one of those BuzzFeed listicle style content that we have, okay? And we have other tips like creating a vision, gathering supplies, and whatnot. So that is how you start filling out section by section, and you obviously will do this for the entire book, so you'll do this for all 8 chapters. Once you have that, next is to generate your pen name ideas. You can totally use your real name to publish a book under, or if you want to use a pen name, you can use ChatGPT to get some ideas as well. So I just asked it to give me 5 pen name ideas for this book, and we got 5 pen name ideas: Claire Harmon, Morgan Sage, Lila Everly, Reed Lawson. And obviously, this is just ideas, so you can generate more or just pick from here. One tip is make sure to search the name on Amazon to make sure nobody else uses this name, because it can get confusing if you use the same pen name as somebody else. Although it is allowed, it's kind of confusing, and that is why I recommend you find a pen name that is unique. Next is to generate your book description. So I asked it to write me a 350 word book description for this book. And just like that, we got a 350 word book description. So that is step by step how you can create your first draft of your nonfiction book. It's pretty straightforward, but you're not done yet, right? I said it's your first draft, and the next step is you have to go and polish your manuscript. So this is your first draft. You're not done here, right? Never just copy paste what you generated from ChatGPT into a book and just publish it with no editing, no humanizing, nothing, because that rarely makes a good book. There's a 99% chance that that book is not good enough. To make it actually good, you have to heavily edit it from here. ChatGPT is amazing because, as you saw, you laid the groundwork, you laid the foundation of the book extremely fast. It'll help you with idea generation of the title, the outline, even writing the first draft, but you still have to do the final touches and edit the content, okay? So make sure to do that. Read through the entire book, edit wherever is necessary, make sure that the book is flowing well. And also fact check, because ChatGPT is not always factually correct, as well as check for plagiarism just in case. When it comes to checking for plagiarism, I use Grammarly Premium. That is the best plagiarism checker in my opinion, although you have to pay $10 a month for it. If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave a link below this video. So as you can see, it's actually a lot more work than just copy pasting from ChatGPT, because you need to do significant editing to actually make it good. But if you're willing to spend the time and do that, then AI is actually an amazing way to get your first draft of the book fast. So even if it saves you a lot of time, you still have to put in more time to improve the content. If you just want to make few sales here and there and maybe make $5 here, $10 here, then perhaps spamming low quality AI books will work. But if you want to make this your full-time income, then that approach is definitely not going to work. Now, if you don't even want to deal with writing the book yourself, even with the help of AI, then you can actually hire ghostwriters to write the book for you, which is completely hands-off. You just have to hire the ghostwriter, send them your project, and they can write the book for you. I actually have a step-by-step tutorial on this, on how you can hire ghostwriters on Upwork. So if you guys want to check out this video, I'll leave a link in the description below. And once you have your book manuscript ready, the next step is to get your book cover designed. So I recommend you hire your designer on Fiverr. It makes the process very easy. And these are some of the designs that you can get on Fiverr. So this person will design your book cover for $55. And these are some samples, which looks pretty good. And if $55 is a little too high, then there's another one for $30. And she specializes in nonfiction. So if you're doing nonfiction, this is perfect. And you can see that these are her samples. If you guys want to test out both of these gigs, then I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you want to learn how I helped over 1,200 people make money with Amazon KDP by publishing actually high quality books with the help of AI, then you can check out the first link in the description below. You can book a free call to talk to one of our team members and see if you're a good fit for our programs. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.